How's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, and I have simmered down a little bit from yesterday, but still hard at graft throughout the northeast. And yes, that is a sweat on, and that's something that not any of the Newcastle United players yesterday can pretend that they got on during that absolute shower of piss that they made me sit through against Brighton. Not Barcelona, not Bayern, not Borussia. Goodness me, Brighton, with the greatest of respect, because I'll start off with the caveat. Brighton played fantastic attacking football. Yes, their manager looks like the DJ of Kevin and Perry Go Large. That's a given. But it doesn't really matter, because he got the job done, because he done exactly what he said that he would. He'd exploit our weaknesses. He'd play attacking, entertaining football. And us on the other hand, well, we thought we had the Champions League wrapped up because we'd beaten West Ham, a very below par West Ham, down at the Taxpayer Stadium with David fucking Moyes in charge. I should have known better than to get my hopes up going into this game, because they were shattered inside of 8 fucking minutes. Fuck me, man. You know, I started off, we conceded the first goal, I'm thinking, slobby. You're not at the races today, SM. What the fuck is up? Is it your injury? Is Bruce done what he done last season? And of course he had done, but by that time it was too late. A stupid tackle from an unfit ASM gives away a penalty. Happy with the award of it all day long. It's right. It should have been given. Bang, 1-0. Obviously Darlow wasn't going to save it, let's be honest. Then again, calamity at the back. It looked like a bowl of fucking spaghetti bolognese. Our defence, it was all over the place. It was that much of a fucking mess. And then, bang, 2. And I'm sorry, but Jamal Lascelles in particular, you have got to take a huge amount of blame for that. No word of a lie. If you haven't watched the match, don't even waste your fucking time watching even the highlights. Because our best players on the day were the left and right goalposts. That was it. They were our best players, because without them we would have been top 5 or 6, no doubt about it. People will say, Paul, man, you're over-exaggerating after just one game. But this isn't. This is telling me the warning signs of last season. You look at the win percentages for managers, and Bruce is the worst manager who's played a certain amount of games in Premier League history. He's up there along with Joe Kinnear and Sam Allardyce. And that should tell you everything you need to know about our recruitment policy for fucking managers. It's a joke, it's a fucking shambles. And no, I'm not over-exaggerating after one game. But, yeah, tactically in that 1990s footballers has phoned us up and said they want their formation and they want their manager back. It's just symptomatic of last season, and totally a very Steve Bruce thing to do. We're so inconsistent, it's unbelievable. We'll win one, we'll do mediocre in another one, we'll maybe get a win or a draw, and then we'll get tonked, and then we'll get tonked again, then we might get a draw, then we might get a win, but then we'll get a couple of defeats, and so on and so forth. The only thing we are consistent at, it appears, is being inconsistent. And if we have any aspirations of doing what we ought to be doing season in, season out, and that is being in the fucking top 10, then we have got to be beating teams at home, the likes of Brighton, with all due respect. Because every single time that a match like this comes along, look at last season with the draws we had. The Villas of this world, the Watfords of this world, the Brightons of this world. And I tell you something, if they don't pull the socks up soon and start playing to the potential, then it's going to be another race to 40, it's going to be another Southampton Cup, staying up if we're lucky and all that sort of thing. But I can take a defeat, I really, really can, but it had all the hallmarks of last season written all over it, with the inconsistencies, with the poor tactics, with the poor squad fucking management. Look after the players, Brucey, man. And then, of course, the formations. You know, there's nothing wrong. Oh, he wanted to reward the team that played well against West Ham. No real issues with that. But what I would say is, you look at the opposition and think, that isn't going to work. Right, I'm going to reward the players, but I'm going to change the formation, because I know that they're going to come at us with a possession-based football, with a pace. And it looked as if, for everything, that we weren't ready. We weren't aware. We're fucking tall boy. He was like, oh, what we practiced in training this week really come to fruition. I'm pleased with that. Well done, lads. What the fuck did he do, Brucey? Chucked the ball on the pitch and said, "Oi, lads, go on, get about it." It's not good enough. It isn't. It's already got the hallmarks on it of it'll be another season just like all the others. It's either relegation or it's mediocre, lower mid-table. It's getting dumped out of the cup by the first decent side that we play against. That's how it appears on the face of it. Now I hope and pray that I am fucking wrong, because I am so desperate to see Newcastle win something for once. It isn't much to fucking ask for. When you look at some of the fucking shit teams that have won stuff, whilst we haven't, it's not a lot to ask for. It's not a lot to ask for. A little bit of a coherent plan. You're sitting there thinking, right, plan A isn't working. But I know Bruce is going to switch it and we'll go to plan B, and there's 80 minutes of the match left. We can turn this around and get a point. No, as soon as that goal was bummed in, I knew for a certain fact we were up shit creek without a fucking paddle. I was like, oh, brilliant, great, game over. Jobs are good, now I'm going to have to sit through here. Like, looks like I'm fucking sucking on a bastard lemon. So, I did. And I went through all the emotions. I went through absolute rage, anger, shouting, screaming at the TV, highlighting the absolute ridiculous performance that was getting put out in front of me. And then I just got towards the end and I was just like, meh, it's again, rinse and repeat. I felt numb. And I said to the missus and the kids, I went, you know what? Fuck this as a performance. I'm not going to have it ruin my entire day. So I was like, right, we're going to go out for the rest of the day. And that we did. And it was great. Came back in later on. We did the podcast with Kyle. And we both slightly mellowed out a little bit more by then. Although we were still pretty pissed and annoyed and narked and everything. But yeah, the more and more, as I say, I've crossed the North East today. Speaking to people from, towns, villages, cities, here, there and everywhere. About the game. And everybody's of the same. They just feel numb, so down. And this is the life of being a Newcastle supporter. Over the summer we could have been the richest club in the fucking world, shafted by everybody, Tom, Dick and fucking Harry, right? Have all had a go. You start off and you're thinking there's no signings, so you get right low again. Then a couple of decent signings and you're thinking, great, optimistic, attacking intent. But then you realise Steve Bruce is the manager and we're going to be playing 1990s style football. Outdated tactics, no passion, no organisation. As I just passed one Magpie there on the side of the road. Two right, one for fucking sorrow. Where do we go? I mean, we've got a big game against Morecambe. Fucking hell, and I'm worrying about it. A potential banana skin. I am shitting bricks about it, as you do as a Newcastle United supporter. Hopefully we go there and we put out a team, and I would make some of these lazy bastards from this last game. I'd make them play again, because I'd be telling them, not one of yous lot broke a fucking sweat. So don't give me this tired shite. Get out there. These are the tactics. This is what we're going to do. I've had enough. Get it fucking done. Score some goals. Have some shots on target. Because, I mean, I don't know if this is a revolutionary thought, but if you don't take bastard shots on target, you'll never win football games. Because you'll never score any fucking goals. It's Michael Owen levels of absolute obviousness to everybody. But it's so raj me, it's unbelievable. We shouldn't be making difficult work against the mid-table championship side. We shouldn't be worrying about Morecambe, with all due respect. We shouldn't be worrying about Watford in the next round. We shouldn't be worrying about getting to the next round. But such is the way of our club that you do. So I'm looking for a total response. I would play at least a good portion of these players and I would drill it into them. Don't you dare ever serve me that shit up ever again. If I'd have been Steve Bruce, in that dressing room, well, I wouldn't have done them tactics. Now, I wouldn't have been stood there, looked like a fucking stuffed mannequin at the side of the bastard pitch. I'd have been fucking screaming at these players. I'd have been dripping blood by the time they got in. But I'm making sure they understand the importance of tomorrow, not only for the club, but for their places in the team. Because players like Jamal Lascelles, that was disgusting, that performance. I like Jamal Lascelles, he's a great player, I like him a lot, he's our captain, leader, always championed him. But if you show me much more of that performances, I think every Newcastle fan would say, oi, not enough, cut that shit right out. It's not as if you're making your debut when you've not got a fucking clue. That was shocking. But it's not fair to single out just Jamal Lascelles, because the entirety of the team was shit. Miggy, when he came on for a period of time, was energetic and he was bright and he was bubbly. All right. But too many players went missing. I mean, Hayden, was he transparent? Because I didn't see him. You know? How many other players? ASM, that was his worst game in the Newcastle shirt. Full stop. Easy as. Hendrick, nowhere near what he was previously. Has he got the tit on about playing out wide already? I don't know. Well, the jury's still out. Obviously, they deserve time. Of course they do. But they need to understand the significance of such a shit performance. Andy Carroll didn't break fucking sweat. He didn't have literally a hair out of place. And he's perfectly groomed and manicured fucking ponytail. And then, like I say, Callum Wilson, he tried, he huffed, he puffed. Should have scored one. But, no, wasn't to be there, wasn't to be. Jamal Lewis had his head kicked off, HBK style, finger shame and all that sort of thing. Didn't have a great game, but wasn't helped out by ASM, let's be honest. Fraser, you can tell he's working his way back to fitness. Fernandez was alright, I suppose you'd say. A very, very low scoring. If I was scoring them out of 10, I'd be giving him a low score, but still probably one of the better players on the day. Manquillo looked like a player that had played 3 games in the space of a week as well. And Carl Darlow, the least said the better, to be honest. You know my feelings on Carl Darlow, he'll never be a number 1. The sooner Dubravka's back, the better. You know, I'm not saying he could have done a great deal with the goals yesterday, but comparing Darlow and Gillespie's start of the season, I would be tempted to play Gillespie because I'm just more impressed with his general command of the area and his ability to catch rather than constantly just flap and try and punch balls left, right and centre. But yeah, you may agree or disagree with me, but that's my opinions, my feelings on the subject. The substitutions, well, it wasn't going to change much, was it? You know what I mean? Joe Linton comes on as well. And what can you say about that lad that I haven't said before? You know, I think I'll just leave it as he's the only Brazilian. The only Brazilian who can't play football. Has he ever seen a football in his life? Who knows? Who scouts these players? Because I'll tell you something, I think I'll get a scouting job at Newcastle because it must be the easiest gig going. Because I can spot talent better than whoever's scouting them. If that's a Steve Nixon signing or whoever, then I'd have had your P45 in the post. In fact, I wouldn't even waste the stamp on you. I'd have said, oi, office, P45, you're out in your fucking ear. 40 million, you give your head a shake, you daft bastard. It's not good for your health supporting Newcastle, I'll tell you that. Not good for your health. I love the club with an absolute passion. I want the very, very best for it. You know, we've gone from Magpie and being the richest club in the world to Mike Ashley and shitting ourselves about Morecambe. That tells you everything you need to know. It really, really does. Hopefully we get a good result tomorrow, but not just that, the players actually play to a formation and a system and show a pride in the shirt, because they were coming out yesterday and stating the obvious, all Sherlock Holmes stuff. Oh, but we didn't play it very well, and when you concede 2 after 10 minutes, it's always going to be difficult. Well, yeah, it would be difficult if you didn't do fuck all about it, which of course, you lot bunch of lazy bastards yesterday did fuck all about it. I put more graft in within 30 seconds of getting in this van this morning and turning the ignition on than the entire fucking team did in what, nearly 100 minutes. So don't give me bullshit, don't give me fucking crap. I want to see performances on the pitch. I was really optimistic at the start of the season that we could have a better, not a great season, but a better season. And I'm still determined that we can have it and we can turn it around, but we need to have far less of those style of performances. Anyway, we roll on, we get ready for Morecambe, cross everything because we'll probably need it. Then we've only got Spurs. We've only got Spurs after that. Let's hope they are all knackered after their exploits in Europe, because I think that's about our only chance. But it would be typical Newcastle, and I can hear the comment section already saying typical Newcastle if we were to do shit against Brighton and then go down to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and win. That wouldn't surprise me. But it gets so frustrating being a Newcastle fan because of that inconsistency from last season. It's eking over. Anyway, I hope that you are all okay, fit and well. Coronavirus is still biting everybody in the arse across our region and our neck of the woods, but we will get through it the other side. But take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.